Hey guys, so when it comes to e-commerce, there are primarily two questions that you always ask, especially when you want to be successful. Number one, what product am I selling? All right. Am I selling a physical product? Am I selling a digital product? Am I offering a physical service or am I selling a digital service? What am I selling? Right? That's question number one. Number two is how am I going to sell this online? Selling online is there's a very broad space. There's a broad space and you can sell to anybody. The problem is if you try to sell to anybody and everybody, you might end up selling to nobody. So that question too is also very important because you need to understand how you're going to sell online. How are you going to target customers? What kind of messaging are you going to send to them? What kind of offers are you going to send to them? How do you nurture and build a community? How do you increase their lifetime value? Things like that. When it comes to business, it's a numbers game. Any kind of business, whether it's bricklayer, whether it's selling diamonds, whether it's running a school, it is purely a numbers game. All right. And if you don't understand the numbers, how do you then improve it? Right? The beauty with e-commerce is purely numbers. You know, it's purely numbers and it's a constant cycle of iteration. It's a constant cycle of improvement. You can always improve. So if you don't focus on your numbers, what are you going to improve, right? And that's where we want to look at the EBS calculator. Today we're going to do a proper deep dive into the EBS calculator to understand how it's going to impact and improve your business and scale it from, whatever you're selling at the moment to 100 million and above. I say this because I've used it in my business. I use it in businesses that I work with at the moment. And I've built my businesses. I have a particular brand that I've built to above 50 million. I've worked with brands that push more than billions. And the reason why I say billions is because they don't sell in naira, they sell in dollar and pound and euro. So obviously, when you convert it to naira, it's billions, right? And this is exactly the kind of things that we look at and then use to scale. Let's dive into the EBS calculator. Like I said, it's an operational tool, right? So it has a lot of calculators within the EBS calculator. So I'm going to send you these calculators once you click the link in the bio. But these numbers can be changed. So if I change this to, let's say, 20,000, automatically you would see that my revenue at the end of the year has changed to 60 million naira. If I change this to what's the average cost of hair? The average cost of hair right now is, how much is hair? Let's say 85,000. I don't think hair is 85,000, sure. But look at that. Gosh. Once you do that, you're looking at 255 million naira in a year. Like I said, guys, this is not impossible. What you need to do though is you need to make sure you have traffic of 12,500 people. When you run ads, okay, what's the cost of running these ads to 12,500 people? What kind of ad do you want to run, or what kind of people do you want to target that you would get a conversion rate of 2%? Like I said, this whole e-commerce business thing is just a numbers game. And how you really want to stand out from the crowd is the sort of ad that you create. What kind of ad are you using? What kind of ad creative do you have? As well as how well are you targeting your customers? These are the three things you can change. So you can change your traffic, which means you can run more ads. You can change your conversion rate, which means you improve on your ads, you improve on your offer, you improve on your targeting, things like that. Or you can change the cost of your product. So you can increase the product or reduce the product, things like that. That's basically the RTV calculator. The ROAS calculator is a bit more interesting. With the ROAS calculator, in this particular EBS calculator tool, I have split it across Meta, Google, and non-ad sales. Okay. When it comes to these platforms, this is primarily the three platforms that you'll be seeing your paid what's it called now? Your paid traffic and your organic traffic come from. You have your revenue and then you have your ad spend. So here I've done it per month. You just want to put in the cost of what you're working with, and all this will change automatically when you are working with that. So let's change one here. So if I do 213000, automatically you see that that would change. So my ROAS has changed to 12.12. My ad spend has changed to 4.7 as opposed to I think 4.8. My revenue is still 57. Um, so let me just change the revenue to 5674. Let's see here. So here, my revenue has changed as well to what's it called, 5.7, but now it's point 0.9. My ROAS has also changed, things like that. Now, when it comes to non-ad sales primarily is your organic traffic sales. So your organic traffic sales could be referrals, it could be email marketing campaigns. I advise people to always have one email marketing campaign go out at least once a week. Um, Depending on how big you are, if you're a solopreneur, it's a bit difficult. But if you can afford to do it, you might want to push it maybe twice a week. One that is educational, another one that is a sales led campaign. Always goes out. Now, with profit margins, a lot of people, okay, just making sure that my audio and everything is working fine. With profit margins, a lot of people look at it from a products. They look at it from a group of products perspective. However, if you want to succeed in e-commerce, you need to look at it from a product perspective. So you have your cost price, you have your fixed delivery cover, and then you have your selling price. Any other thing can go into this selling price, into your cost price. That's dependent on your business. But then you have the selling price exclusive of VAT. So in Nigeria, VAT is I think 7.5%. So that's exclusive of VAT. Let's just assume that we all pay our tax. So there you have your gross profit per unit. So with your gross profit per unit, this is how much you are making for each product, right? In earlier in the video, I mentioned how some people look at a group profit margin and say, "Oh, I sold 50 products, I made 10 million." But when you look at your gross profit per unit, you might find out one particular product is doing majority of the profits, is giving you majority of the profit, as opposed to other products that are doing poorly or are doing well but they don't have a good profit margin. What you want to focus on is the products that have the higher profit margins. If those products sell more, you make more money as a business. So that's why you always want to understand the profit margin of all your products. So that's with profit margin calculator. Let's go to the OPEX planner. With the OPEX planner, basically, it just kind of lists out what I believe every typical e-commerce business should have. You know, a lot of us, like I said, with solopreneurs, they're not going to like this particular sheet, but hey, it is what it is. This is how I've seen success. This is how I have scaled my businesses. And this is how I've seen every successful business scale as well. This is exactly what they have in their businesses that helps them really stand out. And as the CEO or the owner of the business or the manager, you don't burn out. I think a lot of solopreneurs, fine, I get it, we're trying to be efficient, we're trying to be cost effective, all of that. But you can't do these things on your own and scale to the maximum level that you actually think of. If you, like I said, 100 million, however it is you look at it, is a lot of money. And you shouldn't be thinking that you can grow something like that without support or assistance. So as much as you can get support or assistance, please, by all means, make sure you get support and assistance. When it comes to ROI, you are basically looking at total revenue, right? Now, excluding VAT, the money that a lot of people think that total revenue is what they made. No, the government will still collect their share. So just give it to them. Calculate it from the beginning so you're not personally attached to it and it doesn't pain you. Then your cost, your COGS. So your COGS is your cost of goods. Whatever it costs you to get your goods into the country, I'm guessing if you ship it in or into your warehouse, wherever that might be, what's that cost? Your logistics as well. What's that logistics? Your operational expense, we just looked at that. It's part of it. Your advertising spend is part of it. A lot of people put advertising spend with operational expense. With e-commerce businesses, operational expenses and advertising spends should be treated separately. The reason why I say this is your advertising spend is very, very dynamic. It's one of those things that you can dial up or dial down. So don't mix it with your operational expense. So you have sort of that separate focus to look at it. And then if you took a loan, what's your repayment like? That's basically what repayments start for here. And then you have your gross profit. So your gross profit minus your tax should then give you your net profit. This table just shows you the breakdown for each month in terms of revenue. Sorry, guys. Last but not least, one look at the forecasting planner. So with the forecasting planner, is basically when you look at your profit margin, you look at your ROI calculator, and then you want to have a forecast. So which product sold the most in 2024, for example? That product that sold the most in 2024, which one of them was my most profitable product in terms of profit margin and sales? Okay, fine. Let me forecast that particular product and expect a 40% growth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to link this tool in the description. Um, if you have any questions, let me know. I would answer it as soon as possible. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have anything else, just let me know. Peace.